2024. Happy New Year, yeah, 2024. But having said that, also, please bear in mind that the meeting today is recorded and it's on YouTube. So please be careful not to divulge too much personal information about yourselves, although we would like to know whereabouts you live and maybe a name to go with it. But if there's anything more detailed that you want to divulge, then do wait until the end of the meeting and speak to your local councillors accordingly. So be mindful of that. Now, having said that, I hope those of you who took part or visited the market stalls gained information and on any issues that you probably had, and that's been resolved. This part of the meeting now is a formal part of the meeting where we will go through what happened at the previous meeting and look at the agenda items which are up on the screen above you. So, first thing on the agenda, item number 1, apologies for absence. So that's the councillors. Any apologies for absence?
Hi, Chair. It's Councillor Vikram Garwal, Cranford Ward. Happy New Year to you, sir. I do celebrate that. Just apologies for lateness from Councillor Harleen Atwell here. I believe she's parking, but she'll be with us shortly.
Okay, anybody else? I have an apology from Councillor Aqsa Ahmed. Any others? Okay.
Councillor Amrit Mann.
Is that for lateness or non-attendance? Non-attendance, okay. And do members have any declarations of interest or any other communications? Yes.
Sorry, Chair. Thank you very much. Councillor Shanti Rajawat for Heston West. It's not a declaration, but thank you for indulging me for just a second. Sad to announce to the Area Forum that a regular attender of the Area Forum, Terry Node, sadly passed away on Saturday. He was a resident in Heston West in Brabazon, but a regular attender of this meeting and a campaigner for the local area on the Brabazon estate as well. I know personally, having dealt with him regularly, that when he spoke, I listened, and I was often scared of what he had to say, but he was always on point and really dedicated to Heston as a whole, but in particular the Brabazon estate as well. And I know his family were here earlier, and he was very involved with the Heston West Big Local as well. He's a really sad loss to the local community, and we will absolutely miss him. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Councillor Shantanu. Right, moving on, just a reminder for members present, the monitoring officer's information is also attached to the agenda documentation, so it's about the protocol in the meeting and how we proceed with meetings, just to refresh your mind. Now, moving on to agenda item 2, the minutes of the meeting held on the 28th of September are there in front of you. I assume you've all got copies of the agenda. This is to councillors. And what we'll start off with is matters arising from those minutes. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? Councillor Rajawat.
Thank you, Chair. Page 9, a bit of a matter arising clarification, personal clarification, if I may, on the section titled 8, Leader Unable to Attend Ward Meetings. From memory, the gentleman that raised this point was referencing the fact that I hadn't attended the prior surgery, which I'd given my apologies, but were covered by my ward colleagues. I'm not sure about the comment around emails, because the gentleman that raised the point actually corresponds with me via written correspondence as opposed to email, and has had responses. I've double checked that. But also just to point out, for clarity, between Heston West and Heston Central, the surgery is shared on the same evening. there is always cover. My schedule sometimes does mean that I'm not able to attend. However, we are very clear on the council's website that the surgeries are shared between the ward councillors, and at least one Heston West councillor is present for every surgery, even if I'm not, and information is fed back to me if I'm not there. So I just wanted to clarify that, Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other matters arising? Councillor Garwal.
Thank you, Chair. On page 7, certain lane dangerous driving. After the last area forum meeting, the community development team as well as the local ward councillors visited the site, and the resident was present there, and the traffic team is looking into it, and whatever is feasible will be implemented in due course.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Garwal. And I have a matter arising from that gentleman there. If you can grab the mic. Thank you. I think you've got to wait until he activates it.
Is it on? Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Chair, for giving us 2 minutes. Basically, we're from Heston Repair Cafe. There are 3 of us here. It's a monthly event, as you may know from previous forums, and we are volunteers. We are helped by the council. The council funds expert repairers come and fix our items for free, and we are volunteers, and we want to talk about what helping out helps us, how it helps us. So we get to meet people. We get to get our stuff repaired. It's great fun, as you can see. We're always smiling. And we'd love to have more of you come along both to have your things repaired. So electrical items, bicycles, clothing, computers, etc. But also, we're looking for people to help. There's only about 6 of us in the main team and about 20 of us altogether helping. So anybody else with skills to repair or want to organize or want to meet people and have fun, it's a Saturday morning once a month, please reach out to us.
What do we repair? We repair appliances. What else?
Bicycles, clothing, computers and so on.
And the idea is to basically not to have those things in the landfill. So that's the premise behind it. And the idea is also to get the community involved to repair those things. So we need repairers, people who have got skills, sitting at home, perhaps retired, who could volunteer at the end of the month, once a month, and get involved in the council, in the community. So it's an appeal, really, here to spread the word. If it's not you, you may know somebody else. So we'd like everyone to get involved, and that's the reason why we're here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, a plea for volunteers. So do get in touch with the Repair Cafe if any of you are interested in volunteering and helping them with their activities. Coming back to the minutes of the previous meeting, so I understand there's no more matters arising. And are there any issues regarding accuracy of the report? No, so we can sign that off as an agreement?
Agreed.
Okay. But before we move on, at the previous meetings, there were issues raised in the open forum which were tabulated and recorded, and we are trying to formulate a plan within the council so that we can better give feedback as to how those issues have been tackled. Unfortunately, today I have a A4 piece of paper with some of the issues that were mentioned in the previous meeting and how they're being addressed. I think one of the meetings, I think Councillor Garwal has already mentioned that the Sutton Road issue has been looked into. I also have issues regarding the petition for the CCTV for Warwick Road. I've got the issue about the M4 access. I've got the issue about speeding on Crosslands Avenue and issues regarding Berkeley Way. So all those matters are in hand, and if you want to see me after the meeting, if you're particularly concerned about these issues, I can give you a brief update as to what's going on. Hopefully in future area forum meetings, we will have a proper presentation in the sense that we'll run through the items one by one as to what you said and what we did and the action plan to follow up if necessary. I hope you're okay with that. Right. Now, a warm welcome to the the chap who's going to introduce the next item on our agenda item number 3, a warm welcome campaign update from the chap from Public Health. I think it's the chap from Jade Pharmacy. You want to come over? Okay. Again, grab the mic, and I think he's going to kick you in.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good today. I'm here to discuss the Winter Wellness Program. First of all, my name is Govinda. I'm a community pharmacist at Jade Pharmacy. And yeah, as stated, I'm here to discuss the Winter Wellness Program to help keep you healthy and protected during the winter season. Oh, click is there. So the first aspect of the Winter Wellness Program is the flu vaccination. So please make sure everyone does have the flu vaccine. So just a quick summary of those recommended to have a flu vaccine. Everyone aged over 65, no excuse to not have a flu vaccine. Patients under 65, only certain patients are allowed to have a flu vaccine. Certain patients with medical conditions, including children and babies over 6 months of age. Other patients are pregnant women, so any trimester, they're eligible. Children aged 2 and 3 are also eligible for the flu vaccine, but they must be aged 2 or 3 before the 31st of August, as the flu vaccine starts in September. All children in primary school, certain secondary children from year 7 to 11, all patients living in a residential or nursing home, anyone who receives a carer's allowance or is a main carer for an older person or disabled person, and any patients who have a lowered immunity, such as cancer, for example, and all frontline staff, such as yourselves, and any social care workers. So flu can affect anyone, but certain patients have a long-term health condition, and if they do contract the flu, it can adversely affect their medical condition. You should receive a flu vaccine if you are pregnant, have a high BMI of over 40, or have a long-term condition. Some long-term conditions are a heart problem, any chest problems or breathing difficulties, such as bronchitis or asthma, any kidney disease or chronic kidney disease, and any disease which lowers your immunity, such as HIV or cancer, for example. Patients who have a liver disease, patients who have had a stroke or a TIA, which is a mini stroke, are diabetic patients, any patients with neurological conditions, such as MS, patients with a learning disability, and if you have any issues with your spleen, such as sickle cell, or if you've had your spleen removed, you're also eligible. So the next aspect is the COVID-19 Autumn Program. This will be delivered to patients aged 65 and over, patients in care homes, anyone aged 6 months and over in the clinical risk group, which we'll go over in a second. And other eligible patients are frontline health and social care staff, those who care for vulnerable individuals, and families of individuals who have a weakened immune system. So the Autumn Program is targeted at those at high risk of complications of the COVID-19 infection, who may have not been vaccinated for a few months, so make sure you get your boosters. As the number of COVID-19 infections may increase over the winter, this dose should help to reduce your risk of being admitted to hospital with COVID-19. The vaccine may also provide some protection against mild COVID-19 infection, but such protection does not last for long, so make sure you get your boosters. So, what to do if you're not feeling well? Remember, you can always speak to your local community pharmacists. They're always there to help. They've done training for 5 years just on medicines, and they're also trained in managing minor illnesses and providing health and well-being advice. As qualified healthcare professionals, they can offer clinical advice and over-the-counter medicines for any minor illnesses. If the pharmacist is unable to treat you at the pharmacy, they will refer you to the nearest appropriate practitioner. So Pharmacy First, it's a new advanced service which will be started in pharmacies, and this will allow pharmacists to offer clinical advice and potentially prescribe any prescription-only medications for certain conditions which they can prescribe for are UTIs in women, shingles, impetigo, any insect bites which become infected and you need antibiotics, sinusitis, really bad sore throat, and otitis media, which is to do with the ears. And these are another list of complications that the pharmacist can treat. So in the local area, this is a list of the pharmacies which you can go to, and they will offer you any advice. You can either call them and have a telephone consultation, or go direct and speak to the pharmacist. Jade Pharmacy is actually open on Sundays, so if you do need help on Sundays, you can go there. So what to do if you're not feeling well? Obviously, if you have a life-threatening emergency, you should always go to A&E or call 999. Life-threatening emergencies involve loss of consciousness, a confused state, and fits that don't stop. Any severe chest pain, which is sudden. Any breathing difficulties, which is sudden. And severe bleeding, which cannot be stopped. If you have any severe allergic reactions, which you might need an EpiPen for. If you have been burnt really badly, you should go to A&E. Or if you think you're having signs of stroke. Or if you've suffered major trauma, such as being involved in a road traffic accident. Your local A&E department is West Middlesex Hospital in Twickenham. Sorry? Yeah, as well. So, if the treatment is non-life-threatening, but you're unable to see your GP or pharmacist, and you think it might be severe but not that severe, you can also go to an urgent treatment centre. They're open 24 hours. The urgent treatment centre is also located at West Middlesex Hospital in Twickenham, Isleworth. You can also see a GP, but they are very limited in the daytime slots, so they get taken up really quickly. And GP appointments should often be used for routine appointments, not for any sudden, immediate help. So if you do require immediate help, you can always call 111 or speak to your local pharmacist. That's all. Any questions? Yep. You can pay, yeah. Some pharmacies can offer a paid service. It's only those eligible to get a free flu vaccine, but you can also pay as a private service, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yep.
What is impetado?
It's like a skin infection, so it starts in the face and it can spread rapidly across your
Is it due
body.
to your immune system?
It can be.
Okay.
I have to go over the textbook.
And I had chicken pox when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then my brother got shingles as an adult,
Yeah.
40 plus. And then I got shingles. Then why can't I get a free shingles vaccine?
You'll have to speak to your surgery about that one. I mean, you can get the shingles vaccine as a private service, but...
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
They said they won't give it free on the NHS.
Yeah, I think it's more of a private service, the shingles vaccine.
All right.
I think certain surgeries do offer it on the NHS, but I'm not sure which ones.
I always thought that once you got the chicken pox once as a child,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be getting it again.
You shouldn't be, but some patients, if their immunity is low, they can contract it
All right,
again.
fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Not all patients or sufferers can have the vaccination in their arms. I, for one, have experienced a member of my family, my daughter. She's got special needs and very conscientious that she doesn't like needles.
Yeah, of
stop.
course. Yeah,
But she had to have it in her leg.
Yeah, a lot of people are needle phobic.
But it's not publicised fully. There's no sort of guidance as to go to a certain place. I had to, delve very deep, shall we say. It took me several weeks before I found something. I believe your pharmacy does it.
Yeah,
would I be right in thinking?
Yeah.
But it's not publicised to everybody.
Yeah, because majority of patients, they do get it in the arm, but then obviously some patients can't, so they can get it in the thigh, or if they don't like needles at all, they can get it in the nose as well. Okay. So you have to inquire more with the pharmacist if you don't want it in the arm.
Oh, good. But I think there just needs to be emphasis on where these places are a little bit easier than I've encountered. I had to go through various services, and I just felt that from the very start I shouldn't have had to have gone through the processes that I did to find it out. Yeah,
I mean, I get what you mean. They should make it easier to have this knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you're done.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, can we
have
have
a
a
good
round of
evening.
applause for this chap? Okay. clearly the pharmacists are now and going forward are going to be increasingly playing a more vital role in our community. So you can see from the range of ailments that were mentioned on that slide. So if you do have issues, as stated, do go to your local pharmacy for advice. Now, we're going to move over to the open forum. And this is an opportunity for members of the public to raise any issues they wish to with us as the relevant ward councillors in the area and the area forum. So the floor is now yours, members of the public. Do you have any issues that you would like to bring to my attention or the attention of my fellow colleagues?
Good evening. I have one or two points I would like to raise to get investigated. One is the frequency of accidents, car accidents on Heston Road caused by speeding, particularly in with the junction of Wheatlands. There have been multiple cars mounting the footpath and knocking street lamps over the last couple of years, caused by usually young men in high-powered vehicles who think they're in a PS4 game or something. Nobody follows the speed restrictions on Church Road, and I'm concerned that we have primary schools, 3 primary schools and a secondary school on Church Road and Heston Road, and I'd like to get some traffic calming measures put in on the roads entering the village just to slow traffic down, to make people aware of the fact they're moving into a more urban area. The second point I wanted to make is, could we please try and improve the grit bin service for flats above shops? I know that the waste and recycling team were trialling using white bags for recycling, but many of the grit bins are not large enough for the number of flats above parades of shops. So if we could try and focus on getting a better service for flats above shops. Another point is, when people who have HMO licenses are renewing them, they fill out a form, but nowhere on that form are they asked to give any, and I'm talking about some of the older HMOs, when they're renewing their licenses, they're not asked anything about what waste and recycling facilities they're providing to the people that are living in the houses. So I think we could do more to try and improve the standards of provision for these households. And finally, a program around trying to improve the appearance of some of the gardens in some of these houses of multiple occupation as well, where nobody has a sense of ownership. Very often they're littered with rubbish, larger household items, and it's not very attractive for people who are living in the community. You have to look at it. But they're the main points. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shafiq.
Is that it? Hi. Hi, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. My name is Shafiq, local resident. Fairly active with various aspects of the communities. And I don't want to say any more about me because I was advised not to disclose too much about myself. Right. Okay. First of all, 2 points. The first one is, this relates to the junction here, the A312 and the High Street. I can only hope we have anybody from TfL that will be here to pay attention. This junction is very dangerous in the sense that when drivers are trying to negotiate from the High Street towards Feltham to the right, from there, or from here to the right, they are not actually adhering to the system of what we call near side to near side or off side to off side. As a result, drivers are confused. Now, there is a simple solution to that, or two, but the simplest one is to have the arrows marked properly. Go there anytime, you will find both arrows are faded completely, cannot be seen, let alone when it rains. So that is something requires urgent attention. I think we've been asking for that for some years now. So I myself, I was only recently involved in the Senate. My neighbors was involved in the accident, called me to assist. Anyway, that is one point. The other point is I am very much active in litter picking, a member of the Cranford Action Group. In fact, we were nominated as champion of the community not so long ago. Right. Now, I see myself, in fact, if anything from Fix My Street is here, who recognize the name, Shafiq Imam Bukas, I very often enlist their help, their support. Thank you very much indeed. It's a great service. You come to our attendance very, very promptly. Now, in doing so, I see myself collecting rubbish, even outside my activities. If I'm cycling around, passing around, I pick them up and put them, amass them, put them together, and then I get Fix My Street to sort this out. All kind of things I see myself picking. Now, please give me your advice. There's one item that I see myself, it bothers me, it bothers all of us, many of us in the borough, not just in Cranford, but I don't know how to deal with this one. The Lime bikes, they are scattered everywhere. Can someone just tell me what do I do with them? Well, I would love to pick them up, put them together, and go Fix My Street. But would it be the right thing to do? We don't have to go too far. Just outside here at the school, outside the school, at the bus stop, you will see two. One of them, the light still on, and left there for I don't know what. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, Mr. Shafiq. One second. Yeah. Apologies to the previous residents as well, raising some issues. I failed to mention that your comments that you've made have been noted, and we will try and address those issues with the relevant departments in the council, and we'll give a feedback at the next area forum meeting. Some of the issues that you presented may be a little bit more difficult, but needless to say, it's of concern to you, and it's a concern to us as well, and where we can, we will try and do something about it. Mr. Shafiq, again, a number of issues raised. We'll try to address the issues that you've mentioned. I need to see you a little bit later on after the meeting, just about that junction in particular. As far as Lime bikes are concerned, again, there's been a great deal of discussion over the past year with the introduction of Lime bikes. Yes, they haven't gone smoothly, but again, if you see me after the meeting, I can give you a little bit of an update as to where we are with that. It's work in progress. It's something that we want to encourage, but yes, there are teething issues which we're trying to address as a council, all right? So I'll get back to you on that. Now, moving on. So I've got the lady there and then two more over there. So the lady over there first.
Thank you. Regarding the e-bikes, I know that there's a safety issue. They're left on the pavements, also near the corner where the cars come onto. For instance, I talk about North High Lane and Greenway, and the incoming traffic is dangerous. I'm talking here about know that they are an eyesore. They are really an eyesore. We all agree about that. But I'm talking now about safety. It's just an accident to happen. And I mean, it's unfair that the people with wheelchairs and pushchairs, they have to go on the road to swerve to avoid these bikes. And I think the location also is outside my house, and they put it on against my gate, and that's my only fire exit. And also we are concerned that we got age around the house, and if the battery explodes, like being on the news, that will be a fire. It's a fire hazard, and we won't be able to go out. I know this is safety issues, please, if you could do something about it. And I know it's on a trial period, but I think they should be relocated, most of them. It's a good idea because we all want to have a clean environment, but it's the location. I don't know who done the planning. I don't know if they come and see just outside some people's doors. I mean, and then next to me, my house, there is green areas. There are communal areas. They should have been there. I don't know who's done this planning. Thank you.
Yeah, again, in reference to the Lime bikes, I would very much encourage you to report any Lime bikes which are inappropriately dumped in your area, and there is a protocol for that, and I think Councillor Shantanu is going to give us a little bit more information.
Thank you very much. Sorry? My phone closer. Is that better? Yeah. Thank you, Chair. Just on both Shafiq's point and the lady in the back, there are a number of points. Firstly, Shafiq, yes, you can report Lime bikes that are dumped on Fix My Street. However, it is a slower process because it goes to Hansa Highways and then they will report it to Lime. Lime are contracted to pick up bikes within, I think it's 3 hours of being reported if you report it directly to Lime. And the email address is support@li.me. So very easy to remember. If you report it, at the moment they're telling us that they're picking things up within an hour of it being reported. So that's manned 24 hours, 7 days a week. To the lady at the back, that comes within the Heston West Ward, your road. If you can contact either myself, Councillor Sidhu or Councillor Malik directly, we can look at the bay of that, the location of that bay, and see what we can do to support you on that. But you're absolutely right, Chair. They should be reported because both myself and the lead member, the Councillor Dunn, meet regularly with Lime and we pull them up. If things aren't reported, we don't have data to be able to pull them up on it. So simple, on the email address, they provide us with that data and then we manage that. The trial is coming to an end, so we will be reviewing it very shortly as well.
Thank you for your contribution. Now I've got the two... The lady right at the back first, and then the gentleman at the front with the baseball cap.
I've got 2 points. Oh, sorry, here we go. How do you use it? Oh, hello. Oh, I'm very loud now. Hello. I've got 2 major points. The first one I'll say is most significant. How many Grenfells will it take in Redwood Estate or Crane Lodge Road Estate for you to, and how many excuses, how many more years do we have to wait for you to change the fire doors? Because I've had so many mini Grenfells now, and the communal area as well has had so many mini Grenfells. How many more mini Grenfells will it take for you to finally change our front door, which is our fire door by law, with your, I happen to be a Hounslow Council tenant, but regardless, by law, you are supposed to change our fire door. It has been more than a year now, 1.5 years, 2 years. How many more Grenfells will it take? How many more people need to die or suffocate with fumes before you change the doors? How many more excuses do I have to hear from Care Ltd Limited? How many more excuses? How many more excuses? How many years do I have to wait for my fire door to be changed? Everyone's fire door to be changed in, for example, Crane Lodge Road or Redwood Estate. How many more years?
Okay.
The last excuse I heard was, sorry, but your structural build is too complex, and I haven't been given the go-ahead from Hounslow House. I have not been given, until I'm given the go-ahead from Hounslow Council in Hounslow House, I cannot go ahead with the replacement of your doors. And that's the most current up-to-date that I've been given from Care Ltd. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. If lives are going to be lost, that's not fine. Good enough. Sorry.
Fine. That's fine. So your question, your issue is to do with some fire doors being replaced or
by law?
Fire doors being replaced or exchanged or improved, yes?
No. By law, you wrote to us, you wrote to every resident in Crane Lodge Road, you said 2 years ago that you are going to replace our door. Why excuse after excuse after excuse? Why? Why? And now you're saying this is too complex a structural build. I don't care. You need to give us a time when you are going to replace our fire door. You're replacing other areas of London. You're replacing their fire doors, their front doors. Why do we have to be right at the bottom of the list? We're not even on the list yet.
Can you allow me to give you an answer?
Yeah.
Right, so I've got a gentleman from Heston TRA, Anthony, who looks very, very much into the Heston Farm Estates area, and he may have some input for you. But before he chips in, I think what you need to do is you need to allow me the opportunity, or your ward councillors, to tackle the issue that you've represented. I don't know whether you have already contacted your local councillors. It's unfair that you come to this meeting and then lay the blame on us present in this manner. Your passion, I can understand. It's a safety issue. I get it, but I would have suggested that if the urgency was such, you should have contacted your local councillors to chase up the matter. But we are more than willing in this forum to follow it up for you. So I'm going to allow Anthony to just say a few words on that, if I may. Anthony, go ahead.
Hi. Well, okay, would you like me to answer your question? Sorry. Well, okay, so to answer your question is there is a new guy who actually deals with the blocks called Anthony, believe it or not. And I met him today. He's an amazing man. So he will be dealing with all the blocks in general, like to do with fire and more. And he is actually going to start doing his risk assessments around these blocks. So it's really good that you come here to bring up the information. But to use Grenfell, I'm going to say this. There's a very sad situation that you would say that, considering that we all knew somebody who died in these buildings. And as well as that, since Grenfell, just to say this, that is the thing that got me, well, actually woke me up to decide to change Heston Farm Estate blocks, where we got block volunteers who go around, walk around, do a monthly report, pass that on to the council, and get things fixed. Now, sorry, but if you want to grumble about something, you need to make that positive change, where you then form that group, talk to people in a more positive way to get a positive answer and a positive outlet for the council to want to work for you. There's no such thing that they can't change a fire door. It's the process of when it's going to happen. Now, usually you get your S20, then you'll then get given a works letter that's going to come out and tell you, and it's all planned. So until that comes out, you have to obviously wait. But then on top of that, as said, if you come and see me after this, I will happily pass you on to the right information, the right person, sorry, so you can approach to get your answer. And like, for instance, if you have been reporting it, you would know that you would go to John Highland and say, John, when's my doors? Or you would know names, for instance, that you would bring here. Okay, so if you come and see me after, we can have that quick discussion and I'll pass it on to you. Okay, so just to inform you, some of you MPs will also know that we had a fire in our block recently.
If it wasn't for me and being alert, the whole thing would have been on fire.
Okay, well, that's great for you. So come and see me after, and then I'll pass you on the information that you need and who to actually get in touch with, okay? Thank you. I'm going to pass it back to Councillor Lau. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, for your insight and useful information. And I would recommend the lady at the back to take up Anthony's offer to provide information. Also, come and see me after the meeting. Right, the chap with the baseball hat in the front row, please.
Hi, Hounslow resident. My concern is regarding the pledge 5,000. I've been a resident of Hounslow 14, 15 years. I'm originally a Brent resident. I've worked for Brent Council, Hackney Council, Harrow Council, Hounslow Council. So I'm very familiar with councils and their processes and the way they go about things. But basically, my main concern is the development at Clements Court. I'm a ground floor resident, and I've sent emails, I've spoken to councillors. What has been erected in an open space, which was previously a car park and a load of green space, we now have an eyesore of blocks to provide affordable homes. Now, the way it's been constructed, new pathways, car parks, it's totally changed the landscape of when I look out of my windows. People can literally, there's a path literally less than a meter from my windows. Cars are parked less than a meter from my windows. Rubbish is dumped outside of my windows since these changes, and it's not even finished. It's also behind schedule. Now, my thing is, I have to ask the councillors, do I have a right to be happy in my own home? As a paying resident, do I have the right to be happy in my own home?
Can you clarify where this Clement Court, which ward is it?
Clements Court is on Green Lane.
Cranford ward. Okay, and what is your particular issue?
My issue is they've changed the landscape. They used, like I said, I'm a ground floor tenant, and we used to have a fence around the perimeter of the tower block. We also used to have a lot of green space, which gave me a level of privacy. Since the building works have taken place, that car park and that green space has been changed, sorry, the fence and the green space has been changed into a car park and a footpath, which didn't exist before, which, like I said, leaves people, I can hear people talking outside my windows, I can hear car engines running. It's just totally changed my home. Now, I originally did contest to this building going forward, but I understand, like I said, I've worked for many councils, I understand councils to an extent do what they need to do and do what they have to do. But my concern as a resident is, why should it be at the cost of my happiness in my home?
Right, okay, thank you for that. I would strongly recommend that you take this issue up with the councillors from Cranford Ward, which are present here today, if they can assist you in terms of your landscaping arrangements around where you live. But to be fair, it's a public domain, so it's very, very difficult for the council to patrol and monitor the public domain around your particular Clement Court where you live. If you have a residents association or something like that, maybe a group of individuals make an association to try and make the area better for yourselves, might be a better way to go. But I would suggest that you discuss this with your local councils to see if you can find a way through on this particular issue.
I just quickly add, I'm not going to go on too much because I know you've got to wrap up the meeting, but I've spoken to my councillor, I've spoken to my housing officer, I've spoken to an estates officer. I've also sent emails out requesting that the original surveyor that came out to do the surveying before the buildings were erected, to revisit my home and do a reassessment, because in his assessment, I've checked online, he said that there is no breach of privacy to anybody's home, which is totally not the case. I did initially get a response saying that they would make an appointment and come out. This has been going on for 2 years. Nobody's come to see me. And then when somebody did come to see me, they sent the estates officer. Now, the estates officer is obviously responsible for the estate, not the actual housing, you know? So it just seems like you're just putting a bit of or Hounslow putting a bit of a buffer to try and quell me. But I'm just not happy where I live anymore. And I've asked to be moved. I'm not asking for, I pay my rent, I pay my council tax. It's a 1-bedroom flat. I'm not asking for a 3-bedroom flat. I'm not asking for a 2-bedroom flat. I'm just asking to be moved from a situation that if it was like this, when I viewed the property, I would never have taken it. Now I just feel stuck.
Yeah, okay. Areas do change with time, and the demographics change, and you will see certain changes taking place. I think we've all seen changes all across the London Borough of Hounslow. I definitely have seen changes where I live in Heston, so that's something that's probably beyond the council's control. However, you have taken the opportunity to come to this meeting. Clearly, this is an issue that's bugging you, and you seem not to have a resolution to this. But you did say that you had some sort of a response from the council, which did not fully address your concern.
It was just a response. It wasn't really a solution. It was just to say, okay, we've answered him.
The fact that you've actually, taken the time to come to the meeting, I would strongly recommend the ward councillors from the Cranford ward do take this opportunity to have a chat with you outside this meeting to see if we can bring this to an amicable resolution. All right?
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Right, moving on. So, gentleman in the centre and then the lady on the left.
Hi everyone, it's me, Kapil. I want to talk to you about the car parking. Some car parking, they are stuck because they're not getting out of it, because my area is down there next to Cranford Community College, because some car parking, then they're not moving very bad because they are stalking each other. So I saw some cars, they're blocking very badly, so we want to... I was talking to my mom because she was telling them to please park somewhere else because it's our spaces, because some people can't have our spaces because it's very important. So if we're going like shopping for holidays, we should tell them to move different parking area, because it is very sadness sometimes.
Okay. Once again, I'm not trying to fob you off in any way, but there will be some issues regarding car parking, and I think the best place for you on this issue also is to speak to your local councillors who are here today, Cranford Ward. There's two of them here today, or is it three? All three from the Cranford Ward are here today, so take the opportunity to discuss this with them and try to resolve your issues. There may be something more to this that meets the eye, and obviously there'll be a lot more detail as to whether there are controlled parking bays or driveways involved, or etc. So do take the opportunity to talk to your councillors about this issue that you presented. Lady on the left.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm talking about the issue of my friend here. She has been given 2 years ago 2 rooms, her and her 2 children. Her son is autistic. Her dad is very old and bed-bounded. Her son, autistic child, is all over. She can't control him very well. She has been complaining to the council for 2 years now. Nobody's listening to her. The councillors sue everybody, all the councillors, and also Hounslow Borough people. She has a problem. She has anxiety now, and she's taking medicine for anxiety. She cannot even take care of her own child who is autistic now because of the anxiety she has. She's taking care of her dad, who is very old and very sick. And only 2 rooms, imagine, with a child with autistic. He cannot even move around. He's too hyper. She can't even sleep well to take care of her children. She has an issue here. Please and please, she needs help. Can anybody on all the councillors around here, all sitting here around, can you help this lady, please, to get... She has been written a letter telling her that she will be given a 3-bedroom house, and it has been... I have the... 1 minute, please.
Well, while you're doing that, can I just ask, where does the lady live?
She used to live in a house in TW5 0HJ, and she has been moved to...
Can you give me the name of the road, please?
The name of the road... Fan Lane. TW5.
The name of the road, please.
Fan Lane. But now she has been moved to South on a bed and breakfast for 2 years now. 2 rooms with autistic child who is not even, he's very hyper. How can the mom control that child when she's living in that situation and nobody's listening to her? Is that fair enough?
Okay.
No, it's not. And she had been told she was going to move to a house, 3-bedroom house. The property is currently under work and should be available within 3 weeks. It was October. It's 3 weeks now. How many months? November, December, and January. 3 months. Where is that house? It has been given to somebody. That's what always they do.
Right. If the lady lives...
She's here with me.
Yeah, she lived on Fern Lane, you say?
She used to live in Fern Lane, but now she's lived in Southall in bed and breakfast, and Hounslow Council take her there.
Right. Okay. So I suggest after the meeting...
Yes, please.
You come and see me.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Ooh.
Myself. I want to talk about myself too. 1 minute. I have a lot of bottles here. My house is damp. Can you see that? 4 bottles. I put under my bed. They're all there. Damp. Nobody. 3 times I've gone to my councillor. They're sitting, all of them. Nobody's listening to us. Why will we, when with this campaign, they're all over. Or next to the schools, in front of our houses. When we have problem, nobody's listening to us. Why? Our votes also matters. But when we come have problem, no. They don't care.
Okay,
Why?
I'm going to have to stop you now.
Yes, please.
I did ask you to come and see me after the meeting.
Thank
all
you.
Right? And we'll address your concerns as well, all right?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, I live at Brabazon Road, which is a big estate. There are 2 things that I want to talk about this evening. Number 1 is, what is your plan for Brabazon Park? There is no park available for little kids that live on Brabazon Estate. They have to go to either Harlett Garden or Red Estate. That's the first thing. And the other thing is, there's a estate where I live behind, there's an alleyway off the Haviland Road where people have been dumping their actual furnitures and they think it's a dumping place for people that live on Brabazon Estate. So it's caused an infest of rats. So I've actually spoken to many councillors and housing officers to try and clear this mess up, but no one has actually actioned it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Again, clearly some passionate issues there that you want to talk about. I've actually got a councillor here that, who wants to respond to your particular concern. So, 1 sec. Councillor Rajawat.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for raising it. On your first issue, I agree with you. There isn't a child's play area on the green at Brabazon. That is a project that the 3 of us as ward councillors are taking forward. We want to create we know we've got the multi-use area for older kids, but we want something for younger kids. So we're working with the Parks team to try and get something in. So that's a work in progress. Please bear with us on that one. On the Henley's Alley, is it?
Sorry. It's the road off Brabazon Road. There is Copham Road, and then you've got de Haviland.
Oh, is it the one behind the shops?
Yeah, behind the shops. So people have actually decided to dump, use it as dumping place, where it's actually very sad for people that actually live on that road, because people can't enjoy their park because there's rats that are just running around wild.
Fine. Sorry, I thought it was a different...
no, not Henry's Alley. Not Henry's Alley.
If you stay till the end, I'll talk to you at the end about that one, if that's okay, because that's due to me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Last person in the evening, and I would request that you let us know the issues that you have. But I think is it a lady that I spoke to earlier? Yeah, so you're going to see me at the end of the meeting anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to the couple of people you recommended me to talk to, and yourself.
That's fine. Okay? Yeah. Right.
Is the answer to all our problems, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this question either, but maybe you'll be able to point me in the right direction. Does anyone know what's happened to Tritty Centre? No. Okay. Is the answer to all our problems, for instance, antisocial behaviour in my council block, and what was the other one? Burglary. Is the answer to all our problems like Elon Musk's suggestion, a humanless high street and then a humanless society? Is that the answer to all our problems? So I put that question to you.
Right. Yeah, we don't actually have much time left in this meeting. I think the questions that you're putting forward are time-consuming, and we can go around in circles regarding that. So if you will allow me now to just wrap up the meeting. But before I do wrap it up, I want to make it absolutely clear to residents that are present. Some of the issues that you've presented this evening, fine, you've taken the time to come to this meeting, that you're passionate about those issues, but some of those issues can be dealt very, very quickly by contacting your local councillors. All right? And in terms of the area forum, we would like to hear the issues where perhaps it's not working, but generally speaking, they should work. But holistic issues that affect our entire area, the Cranford area, the Heston area, the Heston wards, etc. Holistic issues that affect us, that we can all work together to try to resolve as an area forum. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little bit more input from residents in that sense. I'm more than welcome, like I said, to hear individual cases, but generally speaking, some of the stuff that's come forward can be dealt with by your local councils. And I would urge everybody present to tell their friends and relatives that if you have any issues with the council, approach it, give your councillors a chance to resolve the issues that you have. And by all means, if they don't resolve them, then you can bring them to me and at this area forum, and I'll lend my weight to any issues that you present. Right, having had that little rant of my own, that's the end of the meeting. So we're now going to move on to agenda item number 5, which is any other business. Is there any other business? No. Okay. Like I said at the early part of the meeting, area forums, it's an evolving setup, and I'd like a lot more responses to be given to residents regarding the issues that they present to the committee, to the forum, to be addressed and actioned, and the residents informed about the actions that we've taken in those cases, and where if we've not been able to do anything, also report on those issues as well. So you clearly have some faith in your local democracy, local councillors as advocates for your interest in our areas. And most of the councillors, I think, they all live in the areas that they represent. So it's a vested interest for all to work together to try and make the community better. Right, the date of the next scheduled meeting is the Thursday, the 21st of March, but I've been pulled up by Councillor Rajawat, not pulled up, I'm informed that perhaps because of the imminent elections, the mayoral elections, that meeting may shift back or forward or be cancelled. But it's penciled in for Thursday, the 21st of March, and you'll have notification in due course. Once again, I thank you very, very much for attending this meeting. And one last request I have for you is that to make these meetings better, residents, if you have any ideas, please feel free to fill in the forms that the officers are waiving with details. If you have any suggestions or advice as to how these forum meetings can run better, what we did good, what we did bad, let us have your feedback so we can improve. Thank you very... Is there? There's a prize draw. Okay, there's a prize draw involved as well, so there you go. But thank you. Thank you very much for attending, and good night from me, and good night for everybody present. Okay.